Well, good morning everybody. How y'all doing? Pretty good here, and welcome to the channel. Hey, today we're gonna start, I say start because we're gonna do the mounting part of the new light bar that I got, which is sitting right down here. You guys can see it a little bit. Got the brackets here and the wiring harness and of course some instructions. But we're going to mount the light bar in the Tacoma today, and I'm going to split this up probably into two videos. One is going to be the mounting of the bar, and the second is going to be the wiring and then the test. We'll turn it on. And I'm doing that because I don't want the video to be like 3 hours long, you know. It is a bit of a, I shouldn't say a chore, but a little bit of work to get the bar mounted down there. It's going to go, actually, show you guys over here. It's actually going to be mounted right behind here. So you can see the grill. Let me back up a little bit. It's going to be mounted right down here so that it shines through the vent holes, if you will, on the front of the grill there. Should be pretty cool. It's supposed to be a plug and play. Got it from a company called Diode Dynamics. They were running a little sale on July 4th. So I went ahead and picked this up, and we're going to install it. Okay, we got the hood popped. You guys can see there. The first thing that we need to do is remove the grill. And I, of course, have a couple things in my grill. I have the Raptor style lights here, so I have to disconnect those. And I have the camera here, so I need to disconnect the wiring for that so that I can pop the grill so that we can get to where we need to get in order to install this light bar. So we're going to do kind of a high-speed little thing on that, I think, because you guys probably have seen that a million times. But I have to do all that stuff, and then we'll proceed with the install. All right, that gets the grill off. So we got a couple of things hanging in here. Not much really. We have these are the lights down here for the wiring for the Raptor style lights. And the camera just unplugged up here, and then it's in the corner. But we've exposed what we need to expose, and that's the front, so that we can get this light bar mounted down here. So let me get you guys set up a little bit for that, figure out what I'm doing, and we'll be right back. Okay, first thing here that I've discovered, we have the bracket here, and it shows in the instructions that you should be able to see the bolts that you're supposed to take out to mount these brackets to. However, at least in the 2018 Tacoma, there are two guards on each side. You have to remove these guards to be able to access the screws that are pointed out in the pictures here, or the bolts, to be able to mount these brackets. Now, they come out very easily. There's just a little push pin down here. You pull that out the same way that you do these up here on the grill area. And then a couple of pins that just pull out very easily here that hold this piece in, and then you just finagle it out. So that's not too difficult, at least on the passenger side. So we're going to go ahead and pull this out, and then I'll show you the two bolts down there that you have to use for this bracket. Okay, to fit the brackets on, you do indeed need to remove the covers that were on both sides of mine here and here. It's pretty easy to do. I showed you how to do that a minute ago. Just one plug and then pull. Pretty easy. Down here you can see, let's see, let me get the light set up for you. There are the two screws they're talking about, or the two bolts are here. One here above and below. Of course, we're not going to focus. And the other side, same thing, right over there. Let's get the light set up so you can see a little bit right there. One bolt above and below. So those you need to remove. And that's how you're going to secure your bracket on each side. Now, I will tell you, those bolts are tough. I actually used a sledgehammer gently to loosen one of them with the ratchet on there. I know, never do that, right? But I couldn't get it off otherwise. The other three were fine. Much easier to take the driver's side off than the passenger side, I'll tell you that. But once you have them, it's not too bad. Now we're going to go ahead and put the brackets on. I'll show you how to put one of those on. The other side goes on exactly the same way. Okay, we've got it all finagled in here. We got the brackets in on both sides. and the light is right here. You guys can see it here from the front, moving around there. Looks pretty sharp to me. Now we just have to tighten all these bolts down. There's a bolt on each side of the light, one here and over here, and then the 4 bolts that hold the bracketry in. Before we do that, of course, I want to make sure I get this light angled the way that I want it, because once this is in, I'm telling you, it's in. So let me go ahead and finagle that in. It was a bit of a chore. Little tip for you, you do need to put everything together underneath here. You can't, at least any way that I saw, put these brackets on outside of the truck and then fit it all down in here. So you have to put the brackets and everything down in this space here, and then put the what I did is I put the bolts for the light on and connected them to the brackets on both sides, and then finagled the brackets around until I could get them hooked through the screws that you can see right down there. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the light the way that I want it. Like I said, you can see where it is now. I need to adjust it and then tighten it. Then we can tighten everything up, and then we should be able to start on the wiring. Like I said, that's probably going to be another video. I have spent about 2 hours so far just trying to get this thing in here, and it is it's right about 90 degrees in here. You can hear a fan going in the background, but let me tighten this down, then I'll come back on and I'll show you how I have it positioned, and we'll button up this part of the install. Okay, something else I wanted to show you guys I just discovered. You remember these little plastic side pieces we took off to access the bolts down there? Well, now down here, if you can see right there, it's hitting the light bar. So there's no way to get this piece back on unless you trim it a little bit so that it slides in below the light bar. Otherwise, it will not fit because the light bar is now in the way as you look back there. So we're going to have to trim this black piece here if we want to put it back on in order for it to fit in front of the light bar right there. You can see right there where it hits. So I'm going to have to mark that, do a quick little trim, and see if we can't, if that's not enough, just a little notch out of this corner right here so that it slips in underneath the light bar. So I'm going to tackle that and I'll be back. Alright, I gotta say, this is a little more than just plug and play. There is some trimming, if you've got a 2018 anyway, Tacoma or above I assume, but over here on this side shield, the one I've been talking about that I had to take off, I got it back on, but I had to trim the bottom part of it off. This actually went, I believe like so, on the bottom, which this much of it is now gone. Now, I don't think that's a problem because whatever protection it was giving, the bracket here now gives it as well, except for this little corner area here. But as you can see, it would not fit with that bracketry on there, at least not any way I could see. So I did have to trim this bottom section off. I did make some cuts before to see if I could get it to fit, but I could not. But it is a nice clean install nonetheless. Now we have to tackle the other side. Okay, you guys can see here on the other side, I did get this cover back on. I did have to trim it down here, right about where the bracket is, about right here, in order for it to fit. But it does fit. Everything is connected back in the way it's supposed to be, so I'm happy with it. Again, just a little bit of trimming right down there. So now we have to put the grill back on and reconnect all the lighting and stuff that I already had in there, and then it'll be time to run wiring for the new light bar itself and put the switch in the cab. So let me get the grill back together and we'll move forward. Alright, we got it all back together. I'm about on my 3rd hour just putting this light in. Very time consuming. Anyway, we have all the lights reinstalled, plugged in, the camera's plugged in, the Raptor style lights are all reinstalled, and here we have the light bar. You guys can see running across the front. I think it looks pretty good. It'll look much better once it has power and it actually can light up, but that's another video. Unless you guys, unless you want a video that's about 4 hours long, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, show you guys how the install of this goes, bring you guys along with me, you know. It's not horrible, but it's probably 1 out of 5, 5 being the most difficult. It's probably about a 4, because you got to do some trimming on those panels I showed you behind the grill, and it's fairly difficult to get the whole assembly in there. It's very tight, and you need patience. If you're not a patient person, this is probably not a good mod for you to do. It's going to be awesome when it's finally done, I hope. Would be a real drag is if I plug it in, turn it on, and nothing happens. That would suck. Anyway, that's it. That's the install of the light bar. We'll have another video coming up here where I'll show you guys how I did the electric on it, the wiring and all that stuff. It's really not too complicated. It is more so of a plug-and-play application in that respect. And I've looked it over a little bit, so it really should be. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think of this light bar in there. Do you like it? What do you think? I think it's pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on the web. Have a great day. Bye.